Medical schools uses a variety of techniques to train their students, techniques such as lectures, tutorial, clinical placement, and more recently, technologies such as serious games. Serious games are digital tools, the primary purpose for training, education, and healthcare. Using serious games, medical students can practice diagnosis and treatment on virtual patients, enhance their engagement, and also prevent real harm on patients. However, studies on the effectiveness of serious game have shown mixed results, and there are two possible reasons for this. The first is that serious game design varies, as there are many ways of designing a serious game. The second reason is the lacking of the learning theories informing those serious game design. Learning theories are theories on how we learn, and by having the design informed by learning theories, can we ensure that the serious game have an educational output. So that's where my thesis comes in, is to propose a serious game design framework to allow medical schools to build their own games, which are informed by learning theories. My thesis also will focus on the games for human anatomy. The first part of my thesis involving performing a survey on the commercial landscape of serious games using an environmental scan method. And the result yield 1,585 games, a lot of games out there. And despite their varying characteristics, majority of these games are for the learning of human anatomy, aimed at undergrad students, and designed in a quiz genre. But the next question is, are these games informed by learning theories? So the next study actually involved me pulling out the games for human anatomy, scrutinizing it against a list of learning principles. And the result yield that almost 87% of these games have very few learning principles. And the question is why? And I recall reading a journal article by Owasask and Woodbring, which indicated one of the key elements in game design is having the right stakeholders, or the key stakeholders, such as educators, game designers, and students. So when I look back at those games and identified the development team, I noticed that only 17% of those games actually mention the development team and their stakeholders. And those games that have actually mentioned their stakeholders, those games has actually are informed mostly by their learning principles. So in summary, my thesis shows that there's a lot of games out there in the commercial market for medical education, primarily also for human anatomy. However, majority of them are lacking learning theories. But this does not mean games are bad. Rather, medical schools, if they were to adopt serious game into their curriculum, they need to make sure that the game design are informed by the right stakeholders. So this comes down to my third and a final part of my thesis, which is to identify the stakeholders and gather their perception to inform my serious game design framework to produce serious game to help medical students learn. Thank you.